For what?
Google.
No, I'm alive. Almost.
Nice.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to LongWalker's Live. Wake up, and let's walk on. We got a doozy today. And Sancho, yes, you made it. Congratulations. That's awesome. Glad you're here. I know that you'll want to talk about this one too. So, this has been going around the media, going on now for a while. Charlie Kirk's death was a big loss to a lot. Charlie Kirk itself, I feel so bad. I mean, he was such a great guy. A moment of silence for him is always due for all that he's done. One second. All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. He should be okay. He was spinning around in the bed, 1.5 years old, spinning around in bed. And,
it would have been so bad he was standing.
Yeah.
And then he just fell down.
He's got an instant bruise, but he seems to be okay. We're watching him. All right. Like I said, Charlie Kirk, he did the message really well for what he was. Also, there was a video that we just watched that was a medium that supposedly channeled Charlie Kirk recently after his death. Look at Per Daughter of Otten's page later. We're gonna do a Nepper judges on it. It'll be a good one. This woman, she has no idea what Charlie was really about. It's very infuriating.
It's very very biased from their perspective and everything.
Yes, it's a woke perspective for what they go about do, and they slander his name in some of the worst ways.
And I believe that since he believed that he was going to just straight to Jesus and there's none of this in between crap and everything that he would have. So
Exactly.
Hold on, I'll get you. I'm gonna seal this.
Yeah, please do. So, there's him. Now, talking about the next part of this, which is Erica Kirk. What she has done since his passing has been nothing short but
It's disgraceful.
disgraceful. You know, she should be focusing on the kids. There should be none of this taking over the business.
At least not yet.
Not yet, no. She can do it. Don't get me
And
wrong.
other people should be running it for her.
Yes.
Now, you know what I mean? Like,
I mean, she's proven that she cannot be trusted with the company. You know, a woman's emotions usually will get the better of her. And I'm not being sexist about this.
It's just facts.
It's facts.
Be careful, you could lose all your friends for it. You're saying that stuff.
Well,
Sometimes it's worth it.
Yes, Sancho, I know. He said, I can't believe how much Charlie has been horribly slandered by stupid bullies.
yeah.
You know, yes. He was, you know, he did not spew hate like they keep saying.
I don't know where they get that from. Because even these mediums were saying, well, he didn't really know of love until he passed over because he was coming from a place of hate, and it's like,
Yeah, and he never was.
I don't understand where they're getting that from. I don't.
So yeah,
I really don't. I mean, like,
no, I don't either. And well, it's because it's what they want to believe. It's the leftist woke mindset of, well, he was hate. We're not hate. That is hate.
no,
And it's the stupidest thing. You know, these people are being indoctrinated within schools to think this way. And it's not right. It's not right by any standard. You know, they're taught to hate the way that a Christian is supposed to be.
and not even just Christianity, just traditional values in general.
Exactly, yes.
It's like, oh God, how dare a woman stay home and take care of the kids? That's all she does. I mean, I couldn't do that. And
exactly.
How dare the guy be the main breadwinner? I could never depend on somebody so completely. That's just stupid, you know. Any kind of traditional value.
Exactly. So, you know, I've got some videos. We're going to start with some that are talking about her, and then it mixes into one of the bigger topics that I want to discuss today. And I don't most generally take off with these theories by any means. I will not just go with it. I'll let it ride, see how it plays out, see what happens. But this new theory, not even new, it's been around, but it's been shut down so many times that people don't want to talk about it. And the biggest thing about this one is it's called the exploding mic theory. And it's gotten a lot of traction. The positions of which he is within this, it all fits. You know, it's like I've always wondered truly about the shooting one, because how did the bullet not exit? And yes, I do understand that sometimes you get scenarios that just you can't explain. You know, he got lucky. I mean, he wasn't lucky. But, you know, it just didn't, the bullet didn't exit. Like, that big of a bullet should have exited. But maybe he just had stronger bones and it just stuck.
Or just the right
I don't know.
circumstances.
Yeah. But it's just weird to have something like that. So I've got a lot of videos that I want to try to get to, so I'm going to just get this set up so that we can get into it. Like I said, we'll talk about Erica first.
Did you add in GVs?
Yes, that's the first one.
I cannot believe that.
How's he doing?
He's fucking bruised so bad, just instant. Like you said, rug burn. Like, ow.
I think bro already has more deaths, like not deaths, near-death experiences than I have ever in my life.
I think so.
He seems to be talking, though.
Yeah, he's
Where's-
laughing about it.
They're stressful.
This thing is just slow as hell.
What is?
It's tablet.
Well, maybe that's why I got one.
Wait, what is there? No camera.
I've been so into fucking like modding with Minecraft and everything. It's like
I'm gonna get you YouTube. Okay.
oh, come on.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be to videos soon. got that set up.
Part of this is because it keeps trying to verify his old school account, and I don't have that anymore.
Yeah. All right, I'm getting the mic now so that we can get into this.
So Erica Kirk just came out with a message for everyone. Check this out.
Comedians dressing up in whiteface. I have people saying I'm not fit to be CEO, and I have Candace Owens claiming I murdered my husband.
And there's now a phenomenon where the more she does, the more she tries to make things better, the worse she makes it for herself. So in response to her message for everyone, the internet's roasting her. Here's what one person said. Unpopular opinion, if Erica Kirk is so fragile that she can't be questioned, maybe she shouldn't be in the public eye. We'll take a look at more Erica Kirk and more of what people are saying. It only gets worse. Welcome back to the JP Reacts channel, my freedom-loving friend. This is where we help spread the light of truth and freedom because truth conquers. So, I guess Erica Kirk is at being Erica Kirk again, and she came out with I would say it's kind of a scathing, certainly condescending message she needed everyone to hear. A very important message. It's hard to say what it's about. We'll see more of her message. You saw just one little clip, but this is all in response to her being at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Don't know why. She's seen leaving crying, and she just said, okay, it's time for her to change things. She's getting way too much ridicule online, and there's radicalized violent people. So Erica Kirk says, I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to put out a special message. That's what she called it, a special message. And it's safe to say the message didn't go down well. We're going to see plenty of comments roasting her, some just really good perspectives, others just like roasting her for the sake of roasting her. And I will acknowledge her message goes down well with a certain crowd of people. She can say and do anything. And this crowd of people is on the like stand with Erica Kirk. She can do no wrong. She could be there she could in theory commit a crime and these people would be like, it's fine, she's a grieving widow. All those like relentless, defend Erica Kirk, no matter what weird stuff we literally see with our eyes and ears, those people all happen to be the pro-Israel crowd. It's just weird how that works. Anyway, let's see some more people roasting her. Here's what one lady says. The audacity. Candace Owens never said Erica Kirk murdered her husband. As far as I can tell, that's true. Candace has certainly accused Erica Kirk of many things. I haven't seen that. Candace Owens also denies that. So it's possible Erica Kirk was flat out lying in that opening clip where she said, Candace Owens says I killed my husband. Also, the visuals in this video are weird. Black cap, black turtleneck sweater. And that speech was 100% written by someone else. Yeah, it's definitely a weird outfit, that's for sure. Free country, you can wear what you want. Yet, what you want to wear, in this case, it certainly registers as weird. I don't know if that speech was written by someone else. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not going to say it was because I don't know. But what I will say, just to put another check mark in the weird column, is that speech, 99% sure it was a teleprompter speech. The 10 minutes that this speech ran for, we'll see more. We're not going to watch the whole 10. It's not that good. She's just looking straight ahead, and she doesn't have a normal tone of voice. Like, she's not talking the way a human would talk. She's talking the way someone talks when they're reading off a teleprompter. And for someone who's observed to be fake and artificial, reading off a teleprompter, unless you're really good, you will come across fake and artificial. So that probably didn't do her any favors. If I was her PR team, which her PR team should absolutely be fired. And if she doesn't have one, she should absolutely hire one. It's just something needs to change. But if I was advising her, it's like, all right, you want to come across genuine, whether you're genuine or not, you want to come across genuine. Here's 5 bullet point talking points. just bullet points, not like full sentence at the most, just a reminder of what you want to say for each of these 5 talking points on a paper in front of you. Glance at it anytime you need to, once in a while, and look at the camera. Be natural. Say what you want to say. Let it come out genuinely rather than here's what's scripted. Whether she scripted it or someone else, here's what's scripted. I am now reading off a teleprompter. Can you believe that? One of the ways you can tell she's reading off the teleprompter, amongst others, is she doesn't break her stare at the camera ever. I find most of the time when people are just freestyling like I am now, yeah, it's natural to like kind of look around. Even if you're good at holding eye contact with a person, one-on-one conversation, you're not going to hold eye contact with them 100% of the time, maybe 75%. It's just kind of normal. You're gathering thoughts, you're gathering feelings. Anyway, let's go on. What else are people saying? Mandy says, Erica Kirk is not helping herself at all. Julian Dory, I think this is a pretty insightful comment. If Erica Kirk truly is just a grieving widow and not actually a bad person, which is now becoming harder and harder to believe, then somebody around her who cares needs to tell her the following. Her disposition is totally unlikable. Her delivery is completely untrustworthy. Number 3, every time she opens her mouth, she digs herself a bigger hole. I would rather not tell a widow how to grieve, but I would advise a wannabe AstroTurf CEO to go home and spend more time with her kids she claims to love so much. So those 3 points of advice that someone around her who cares about her reputation, and hopefully they care even more about Turning Point USA, that's absolutely what you'd want someone around her who cares to tell her. You don't want yes men around you at this point. You want truth men who can help you improve relative to what you're trying to do. So let's check out a little more. Here is a short clip from her, what came out to be a 10-minute speech before they.
All right, I had to come back on that one too, because yes, you want somebody around her to definitely tell her exactly what needs to be said, which is that she needs to go home and be with her kids. She's already made her point standing up and being with Turning Point. We get it. We get what she wants to do, and she wants to continue her husband's message. Now is not the time. As I said, she is digging herself a hole that she will not get back out of.
Like I said, let's just say that she's 1,000% innocent. She doesn't have anything to do with this. She's not. It just doesn't look good. You shouldn't be doing this stuff. You're not thinking straight. It's just
No.
It's not good. It's not going to end well. It makes you look.
She is going to take down Turning Point.
Maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's what she wants. I don't know.
Maybe that's what they want.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what's going to happen if she's not careful, and she's not careful right now.
But hey, I mean, like this. Oh, I can't say that.
Yeah, I know.
The
I know what you mean.
Hebrew people.
Yes.
Government, not the people, but their government. You know?
Yep, I know.
Froggy got banned for this shit, so I don't want to say too much. But this is YouTube, so yeah.
You know, it's like what she's doing has been absolutely ridiculous in so many levels.
There is the theory, that she was a plant or a spy,
Yeah,
a
honeypot.
that was from, that place, and it just kind of does line up with the way that he was starting to feel about that whole situation. So, and if you do take a look at her history, what was it that she specialized in? Political science and foreign affairs.
Yes.
Yeah, what are the odds, right?
I know. And
foreign communications.
Yes, foreign communications. And it's like, as far as Charlie goes with this subject, is yes, he was a big supporter of
You can say it.
Israel.
It's like, yeah.
He was a big supporter of Israel. Now the problem was he was starting to question and wonder about not what's his name? How do you say his name? Netanyahu. He was starting to see that something wasn't right there. And some people will be like, no, he wasn't. There was never any indication when there was. You could tell he was starting to wonder. And I think that's what brought him down.
I do too.
And, you know, people will say, well, no, that's all, you know, just theories. But you have to, in the day of the internet, there is no reason to not do your research and look around.
There's no reason to be ignorant.
You do not need to trust our community 100%. No matter what, they have other needs that they're trying to get to. No matter how you look at it, even if for some reason, from what you think, they are innocent.
I mean,
they have other things on top of the normal people. So anybody out there, any civilian, anybody who's doing anything really needs to take a hard look, do their own research, and really dig into it if they want to know the truth. It's out there. It's just like the UFO disclosure.
right.
What's coming, I don't know. I don't even know if they're going to tell us all that much. It might just be something decent that they're going to be like, see, we told you. But you got to remember that our own government has said before, there is no Area 51. What are you talking about? We don't have videos of UFOs. Both of those things they did. And they had to come out later and be like, well, okay, you're right, we did. So you cannot trust any of them to any level of that extent. Okay, let's get back into the video.
Showed a lot of clips of actual Charlie Kirk on the Charlie Kirk show. But she had this special message. Let's hear from, by the way, after this, we'll hear more what people are saying, including what Candace Owens is saying. And then we'll also hear how Erica Kirk ended her whole speech, which is a little creepy. But first, it's worth noting, here's the text Erica posts on her Twitter on this specific clip. I went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner for one reason. Too many journalists have done everything they can to dehumanize me for months, and I wanted to look them in the eye. So I guess we're trying to come across as fierce and intimidating here. I guess that's what we're going for. And I don't know, maybe she's 100% right that the journalists at the White House Correspondents' Dinner are people who write negatively about her. You know, I wouldn't say dehumanizing, but also I don't know if that's true. There's a lot of independent voices online, you know, shining the light on weirdness about her, but I haven't seen any in the mainstream media where, you know, the journalists at the White House Correspondents' Center are coming from. I could be wrong, but I could be right. Here's Erica Kirk.
Everyone is asking why I even went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yeah.
And it was because many of the journalists in that room have attempted to dehumanize me. And I wanted to meet some of them face to face.
I already don't believe that. I don't believe that's why she went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Why have a conversation about me when you can have a conversation with me?
Fair. Pay attention to her tonality and body language. And you can just ask yourself, does this feel likable or repelling? There's no right answer. It's just genuinely, what's it feel like to you?
So, for example, a journalist from the Daily Mail came up to me. She introduced herself and she was saying, she was very gracious. She was saying, you look so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss. To which I replied, it is so nice to put a name to the face, especially with all of the slander, the lies, accusations that are out there surrounding my husband's murder and myself.
So her squinty eyes. And by the way, I wish I could sit here and say nothing about her strikes me as negative, but I like to tell the truth how I see it. I wish I didn't see it this way, but I do. And I'm just going to be truthful. I think it's incredibly condescending what she said to the, was it Daily Mail journalist. Apparently this journalist wrote negative things about her. And Erica says, it's so nice to put a face with a name. It's a very condescending comment. Like, it's obvious if she's writing negative things about Erica, Erica doesn't feel that it's so nice. So that's just a very condescending, passive aggressive thing to say. You could say like, hey, I've seen the stuff you wrote about me and I don't like it. I think it's unfair. But to say it's so nice to put a face with a name, I don't think that condescension does her favors. I think it goes along with what so many people are saying. The more she does, this is part of what she does in the public light, the deeper she digs the hole of reputation damage that she's in. Hey, we'll get back to the video in a second, but first, have you ever noticed how the news never explains what dark chocolate will do for your body? Buy one, get one free. Now back to the video.
And I said to her, you know what's so interesting? This is my first time at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. And I find it so fascinating.
Okay, Sancho. Sancho asks, guys, is he slandering her? Can you explain what's going on in this video? What's going on is that this is JP, and he used to be really good, and then he's gone over and switched up a lot of what he does. So I usually don't like to go to him anymore. But he does have good points, and he's not really slandering her as much as just trying to point out the problems with what she's saying, which I fully agree with. You know, Erica...
They could be saying stuff about her if she just wasn't in the public eye right now.
Exactly.
And if she just stayed home and be with her kids.
And yeah, if she would have just gone and been with her kids like she should have been, there wouldn't be anything to talk about. And they could be saying stuff about, TP USA, but that's it.
Right.
You know, if they had somebody else that went to CEO instead of having her go into the CEO position.
She could still be running it and like stuff like later on, but somebody else should be out there doing the hard work. It's like you're not supposed to really do anything like that for a year after somebody close to you passes, especially if you have young children. You need to have a proper grieving process, and you need to be able to, especially if you have young children, you need to be able to guide them through that. Because right now they're just being raised by their grandparents, and that's really unfortunate, you know.
I know. To get back to this.
The dynamic that is going on right now, because everyone is all dressed up.
By the way, I think this is more condescension. I don't think she feels it's fascinating, this dynamic that she'll continue describing.
All right, you get what's going on with her. You know, has a lot of issues, and this is just some of them from what has been going on. I'm going to go over to my main topic of discussion, which is my next video of the exploding mic. I want to really dive into this, so I want to leave, at least, the last half of the show for this. If you guys want to see the rest of this video, this is JP, was it just JP Reacts, right, honey?
I don't know if it's still Reacts or not, but
let's see.
It's JP Sears, I don't know.
Yeah, JP Sears is his name. Let's see, next video.
Oh my god, dude, ABC Mills.
Oh, wait, is that up there?
Okay, we're just getting into this. It's JP Sears. Look him up. You'll find him.
Folks, so there has been a theory out there for quite a while, and I believe I made some dude on Twitter very, very, I don't even think he talks anymore on Twitter because I hit on him so much about the exploding mic theory.
Who is it?
I don't even know. I think his name's Blake.
Blake? What? Do you want to go to war, Malaki?
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't know anybody named Blake that's not gay. If I'm friends with anybody named Blake, I
Well, I
apologize.
mean,
I forgot.
he could be gay. You don't know.
Not that kind of gay, just lame.
Oh, right. Yeah. But anyways, folks, we what we're gonna do is we're gonna test it today. Now, I want to say before we start that all of this is done legally within the state parameters. So what we've done is we have constructed. We can't show you how we did it, but it's gonna be pretty obvious once we do it. We have constructed some. Why don't I go into this first? Okay, so essentially what they were saying is that a mic like this was, I guess, exploded or whatever. It's gonna be kind of windy here, but
With a projectile in it.
well, we're gonna test a 22.
If you try to kill a human with a 177 size, like those little rat shot things,
Yeah.
that would be pretty stupid.
Anyways, guys, let me show you what we've done here. And god dang it, dude, am I stupid? Anyways, guys, let me show you what I've done. Don't forget to subscribe and comment on the video.
That's just like a whole genre of people that like they hold the microphone on their wired. They're like, man, their sound sounds good though.
My favorite guys are the guys who are super animated with the subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. You know what to do.
Yeah.
Join the channel.
I guilt them into it. I'm like, I've asked you all the time, dude.
You
Like,
can guilt me into a lot of stuff.
you're not allowed to watch this actually if you haven't done it.
So here's what we've constructed. We've got a dip cam. We just did this kind of the redneck way. Look at that, dude. It's a little turtle head.
It's the deadliest hockey puck on earth.
But anyways, folks, we've got a 22 round here, and we have this filled with tannerite. And so what we're going to do is we're going to tape this on the shirt, and we're going to see what happens. What do you think's going to happen? It's a fucking tape, man.
I've never seen what tannerite itself does. I mean, I would imagine if you did that to a person, they would probably die.
All right, so I'm going to do this kind of real professional like. Not really at all, but we've got 3 of them, folks. So what we're going to do, I'm going to kind of tape this in an odd manner. I think honestly what I want to do is turn him a little bit this way. That way, yeah, isn't that right? Isn't that right, dude? No,
This is where
no, other side, right here. So it's going to be like this. So we want it to shoot. We want to hit it here, and we want the round to shoot straight into his neck. See that? That's where he got hit.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I think what I'm going to do,
The squib was over here though.
there's
The blood squib.
that's not a that's not what this video is about, man. Grab that side. Okay, just tighten that up. Now it's got to be tighter than that. Yep.
That's what she said?
That's perfect, dude. That'll do it. All right. You ready, Enrique?
Is it Enrique today?
I will tell you this. Do you like my horticulture?
Yeah. Did you actually plant grass here? How does that happen?
It's horticulture. Horticulture.
Are you guys trying to buy some horticulture or what?
Horticulture. Last
what
time I
it
was
is?
here was just dirt. That was like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I am a professional. Dustin's just cool, dude. My work. So anyways, we're going to shoot this with a 5.56 to start. And then we're going to do some other things with it. Get a little nuts. We're never nuts on here. There's one guy, there's one comment who's like, too much BSing. Eat my ass.
How long do you think it would take to shoot around into that? It's like, that's the...
No, because we screw around so much on here because people think this is like a real serious, like we're GBRS group and, you know, we're tier 1 operators. Dude, I live on a ranch, okay? I'm not...
You're wearing a shirt that says piss off.
I'm not Valhalla VFT, okay, dude?
I almost wore his shirt today.
How many tries do you think it's going to take me to hit this?
1.
No. It's a small target, dude.
How far were you shooting from?
I mean, far enough to where if that round goes weird,
It is kind of windy.
it's not going to be a problem. You're not going to be a problem, are you? Oh, that's good. I lost one of my ear pro. All right, folks. So we're just going to see what happens here. I'm shooting that way.
Hey, should I try to shoot it with this?
No, it's not. That's not.
he's like, what calibers do you have? I'm like, I got 380, but it's like bang.
Jesse's just like a male prostitute on the side.
That is exactly what a male prostitute would shoot someone with, for sure.
How long you been doing that for?
I quit, but I did it for a while.
I used to use this little gun when I was a prostitute.
Paid pretty well.
Oh yeah.
Say good night.
The stretch. Enrique, I like your hat. Got that for him at a gas station for Valentine's Day? Not even close. I don't think I'm gonna hit that. Well, f me, dude.
Well, let's at least see where they were hit. I mean, that's a fucking tough shot, dude. Do we want to turn him?
What's that?
Should we turn him? Because like you're shooting at like the.
Dude, we have to hit it from the back because when that thing explodes, everything's gonna go forward.
This shirt is new, right?
Yeah.
All right, you're left and low, like 3 inches left.
I'll hit it with this fucking thing, dude. Bring out the real big dog. I mean, I'm trying to hit a fucking dime. Dustin's the editor, folks, by the way. He's the filmer, he's the editor. He's a green card recipient.
Subcontractor.
Subcontractor.
I just learned English. Thank you.
Okay, here we go. Let's see if we're saying goodnight.
That'll do it.
Look at that right there. I think that's where it flew in. That's warm, buddy. That is really warm.
Were these here?
You may need a fire extinguisher. So I think what we're gonna do on the next one, yeah, dude, he's been hanging out with some chicks. Ain't that right, dude? And they've been biting his neck. I hit him a lot.
I've had enough of you pushing me around.
I gave him an ear piercing. Just put that on, dude. Just put that on, dude. Shh. I know it hurt. There it is, dude. All right, so here's what we're gonna do on the next one. Excuse me. All right, let's see. Doing some redneck science here. Redneck.
Redneck Bill Nye?
Bill Nye, the science guy.
No, no, no. Don't. Folks, it's been a tough couple of weeks for me, so just leave me alone. All right.
My gunsmith is like, bro, have you done your Form 4 for your can? I'm like, what's a Form?
I mean, that hit was very accurate as to what happened if you watched the whole thing. So I mean, something like that.
I did my live scan. I don't even know how to. Never mind.
Yeah, it's interesting. I want to see the next couple of hits this guy does to see what else we're looking at. But the head bounced back and everything just right.
Look at me, dude.
That would hold up in a windstorm.
Hey, is Mossad hiring? I do that quite a bit with stuff. I'm using something like a screwdriver.
Yeah.
And when I'm done, in that like particular instant, even though I'm gonna need it again, I can throw it.
You live on a ranch.
Oh, dude, nice, dude.
Yeah.
Is Charlie Kirk alive?
Is that possible?
Okay. Here we go. Okay, we got it. Here we go.
Boom. No, I think,
that
wait,
new?
this is the one that he, yeah, no, this one for sure was before. But.
All right, well. Just right up against his neck. Boom. Let's try that out. Oh, that blew the fuck up.
Well, got him. Oh, look at that. Oh, nope, that's the same one.
Let me just see them, dude.
I don't know, dude. What about that? That's new right there for sure.
Yeah, that is new.
Get in there.
What is that? Oh, yeah. I don't think that's lethal, though. What was that?
That's part of the dip can.
Dip shrapnel.
Put you on your face, dude.
Those are 50 cal.
That was a 50, dude.
Yeah.
Stop resisting. Sure. I gotta take a knee for a minute.
I can't breathe.
So look, folks, I think why does my nose hurt, dude? So I think to end this one off, we might as well just shoot some watermelon.
Turning Point USA CEO Erica Kirk going live on the Charlie Kirk Show.
Today, I want to dive into the story of Erica Kirk.
That's Charlie's necklace that's hanging. There's no blood on Charlie. There was absolutely no blood on Charlie. Not only did the bullet not go through, it didn't even cause any sort of destruction.
Security officials say a wave of explosions which injured nearly 3,000 people across Lebanon yesterday and killed at least 12, were the result of small explosives planted by Israel's Mossad spy agency.
Candace Owens just dropped some shocking, never-before-seen footage of Charlie Kirk taken seconds after the shooting, and it's throwing serious doubt on the official FBI story. From what's visible in these new clips, the idea that Charlie was hit by a .30-06 caliber round doesn't add up at all. Instead, the so-called microphone theory is suddenly looking like the most logical explanation. And yet, if you try searching exploding microphone Charlie Kirk, nothing shows up. Not one major outlet is even touching it. And that silence feels way too deliberate. Think about it. The media's been quick to debunk every other theory floating around, but this one, complete blackout. Why is that? Because if Charlie was taken down by his own microphone, that means Tyler Robinson wasn't the shooter. So the real question becomes, who triggered that microphone? Who had both the motive and the means to pull off something this calculated, this public, and then somehow steer the blame towards someone else? It gets even darker when you ask, whose money, whose influence, whose interest was Charlie putting at risk? Because whoever that was clearly had enough pull for investigators to look the other way, for witnesses to be ignored, and for key evidence to just disappear. It's chilling to even think about. But now people online are comparing this whole situation to that mysterious exploding pager event from years ago. And honestly, the similarities are too wild to ignore. Candace Owens just released brand new footage from the Charlie Kirk shooting, and it's shaking up everything we were told. The clip completely challenges the official FBI version about where the shot supposedly came from. Candace shared an image taken from a camera positioned behind Charlie, and you can clearly see his neck at the moment of impact. There's no exit wound, no visible damage, nothing, which raises a massive question. If this was really a .30-06 round fired from 200 yards away, how could there be no clear sign of it? Let's break this down. The weapon and ammo
Or not Turning Point people would be involved in a cover-up. And for clarity, I want to show you guys this as well exclusively, a still image of the much longer video I have that was shown to me of Charlie from behind. Okay, this is...
don't match what we see. Experts, hunters, and ballistic specialists have all pointed out that a shot like that should have gone straight through. The kind of power that can drop a moose or even break concrete somehow just stopped at Charlie's neck? That doesn't make sense. And here's where it gets even stranger. Candace said the surgeon never mentioned anything about Charlie having a Superman neck capable of stopping a bullet. That claim was first spread by Turning Point spokesman Andrew Cole, but apparently it originated from Erica Kirk herself. So why invent a story like that? Who wanted everyone focused on a fantasy explanation instead of what actually happened? When you start putting the puzzle together, the inconsistencies pile up fast. The delayed timing, the minimal blood, and even how Charlie's security reacted. None of it matches the profile of a typical gunshot wound. And if you really watch the footage frame by frame, the way Charlie's body moves at the moment of impact doesn't match the claimed firing angle at all. Something about this story just doesn't line up. And then there's the strange movement of Charlie's shirt at the exact moment of impact. And it just doesn't match what you'd expect from a gunshot. The shirt moves before any shot is even heard, and the motion looks like something happened underneath the fabric, not from an outside strike. If the exploding mic theory is real, that detail suddenly makes perfect sense. These kinds of devices are tiny, small enough to fit right inside the battery compartment of a microphone without anyone noticing or affecting how it works. And if that setup sounds familiar, it should. It's eerily similar to those exploding pager incidents from September 2024 that had everyone talking. The parallels are hard to ignore, but here's where it gets even more suspicious. If a mic really exploded, you'd expect some kind of debris, right? Especially small pieces of black plastic. Well, guess what shows up in the photos? Tiny black plastic fragments scattered across the floor of the SUV that rushed Charlie to the hospital.
This is the video, and you can see what we have there. That's Charlie's necklace that's hanging. There's no blood on Charlie. There was absolutely no blood on Charlie. Not only did the bullet not go through, it didn't even cause any sort of destruction. And I follow that video until he goes down. There's nothing that we would expect to see from a 30-06. And again,
a proper crime scene investigation could have cleared up so many of these questions, but that never happened. The site was paved over the same weekend, with everything demolished and rebuilt using fresh materials. Who rebuilds a scene that fast while the investigation is supposedly still open? It's mind-blowing. And that's not all. One part of the footage stands out big time. It involves Charlie's head of security, Brian Harpo. According to analyst Blake Bednar, Harpo appears to have something hidden under his shirt and something else tucked in his pocket. Early in the clip, you can see him twisting or adjusting whatever's in that pocket. And almost instantly, the AV system starts glitching. Then, moments later, Harpo adjusts it again, right before everything goes haywire. Something about that timing feels way too precise to be a coincidence. So what exactly was Brian Harpo holding in his pocket? Was it something that could have interfered with the audio feed? Because that's not all. Harpo also seems to squeeze something with his right hand under his shirt just a moment before the impact, and his reaction right after is strange, to say the least. Instead of snapping his head toward the sound or showing confusion like everyone else, he hesitates for a second, then turns his whole body and moves straight toward Charlie, almost like he already knew exactly what had just gone down. And then there's the whistleblower known as Mitch, who allegedly spotted Harpo at a private meeting at Fort Chukka just one day before everything happened. If true, that timing is wild. Now here's another eerie coincidence that barely anyone's talking about. If the exploding mic theory holds up, that would mean the device used could have been a shaped charge, a type of small directed explosive meant to focus its power in one precise direction. These things are engineered to cut through metal, pierce armor, or slice through materials with incredible accuracy. And get this, one company that reportedly specialized in shaped charge technology was Accurate Energetic Systems, based in West Tennessee. Researcher Ian Carroll uncovered that this same company had a 4-month contract with the Department of Defense.
He was the one who issued that tweet and quoted the surgeon. I then told you that the surgeon never said that. That was not a quote from the surgeon. What I didn't tell you was that according to my source, which I trust very much, the person that was on that phone that said that quote was actually Erica. Erica claims Andrew went rogue and also the surgeon went rogue and violated HIPAA. My source says that no, the surgeon did not violate HIPAA and he never said that, but he answered Andrew Kovacs questions because Erica was on the phone. that the Superman quotation came from her.
That ended in August 2025, specifically for developing miniaturized demolition devices. What's even more shocking is what came next. The plant manager resigned just days after Charlie's incident. And then, exactly 1 month later, on October 10th, 2025, the entire facility exploded, leaving no one alive to explain anything. So if anyone inside that plant had knowledge of, or had worked on, a device like the one that allegedly harmed Charlie, well, they're now gone. And with them, so are all the answers. What makes all of this even more unsettling is how quickly every single piece of the story around Charlie's final moments was sealed off, cleaned up, or rewritten. Within just days of the shooting, the entire event had been wrapped in an official version so airtight that no one was supposed to question it. But the moment people like Candace Owens started digging deeper, the cracks became impossible to ignore. Witnesses have mentioned details that were completely left out of the official reports. Strange van activity outside the venue, communication interference, and the sudden replacement of Charlie's personal security vehicles hours before the event. And the most bizarre part, no one seems to know who authorized those changes. The vehicles that were supposed to transport him that day were swapped with different ones, freshly rented, with no official paper trail. How does something like that just happen without someone high up signing off on it? Then you've got the timeline issues. Reports said Charlie was shot at 8:32 p.m., but the first emergency call logged at 8:36 p.m. didn't even come from anyone on his direct team. It came from a nearby catering worker who said she heard a pop and screaming. That 4-minute gap may sound small, but in an event this tightly controlled, it's massive, especially since during those minutes, footage shows people moving, communicating, and even handling Charlie before paramedics arrived. Every second matters in a scene like that. And somehow, the most critical ones are unaccounted for.
How many equipment, treated equipment do we have in these countries? You don't. I do.
You mean booby-trapped equipment?
Not only booby-trapped.
And spying?
Manipulated equipment. All right?
In which countries are you talking about?
In all the countries that you can imagine.
And that's not the only strange thing about the timeline. People who watch the live broadcast say that the camera angle cut away from Charlie exactly 1 second before the sound of the shot. When it cuts back, there's confusion, chaos, and a shaky feed. How does a professional AV team, the same one that's handled dozens of major events, lose visual focus at the exact second something catastrophic happens? Even more chilling, the backup footage from a secondary camera angle reportedly went missing entirely. According to a leaked internal memo, it was corrupted beyond repair. Convenient, right? But here
this is all very fascinating, and I haven't even heard a lot of this, and so it really is interesting to hear a lot of this. And, obviously the main guy, his main, security detail guy, was moving something in his pocket.
Yeah.
I want to see the footage of that. They have it, so I want to see that coming up here.
The guy is messing with his shirt underneath his he's squeezing, almost like he's squeezing a button underneath his shirt. Right?
Yeah, because they had talked about this guy originally, and it was he was because there was, I don't know, actually it might not have been him because this other guy was on the phone. And he was on the phone the whole time, and they're like, well, what's going on? But he was really on the phone with his kid. They went over the whole thing because the kid wanted to hear Charlie, speaking. It was Charlie's best friend or something that was there. And they went over that whole thing. So this must be a different guy. But yeah, that definitely seems suspicious.
Yeah,
and for them just to cover that up, just be like, oh, nothing.
Why would a live feed turn away and then back? That's kind of weird,
I mean, if the guy had to have had some kind of frequency device that was screwing the feed up, and it interacted with whatever device Charlie had on him.
And like they said, I totally forgot that same exact month had all those features exposing to where in Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, this isn't far-fetched.
And the picture is about the same fucking size.
And they're shutting all this down. They won't even consider it. That's very odd because they've considered everything else, and it's been, no, see, this is why. And we just watched the shooting, what the guy did with a very similar device.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to what you do see with Charlie. Because I mean, Charlie's neck and head snap more, but with a dummy, you're not going to have that whole snap. But the whole body, the whole thing moves enough that you can tell that that's what Charlie would have done.
Yeah, that's what he did. I mean, like.
Yeah.
And it's weird because he put his hand up to his throat, and I would think if you got shot, you wouldn't even have time to think about it. So it's almost like there was enough heat and enough something else that happened before that for him to start to react to it as it was happening. You know, like, oh shit, you know, because like, I've seen other people get shot. And
just boom, done.
You don't even think about it, and it's like he still put his hand up. Like, that was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Because there's just no way.
And for a 4-minute gap to go by, that is very suspicious. Why didn't any of his team call? Why didn't anybody nearby call? Like, there should have been a phone call that second. Because every minute does matter in a situation like that. They waited long enough that they knew there would be no bringing him back.
And they waited a very long time to release the fact that he had, in fact, passed away, because I heard about it, like, literally, like...
But then they were like, oh, no, they're working on him,
Right, and it was like, oh, he's been shot.
Yeah.
That's all they said. They didn't say, at that time, they hadn't said...
I was down in Bakersfield.
Right.
You told me.
Yeah, I sent it to you, and I was like, well, you know, I thought, like a Trump sort of situation, you know, he got shot at, he got nicked, he got shot somewhere not critical. They didn't say it was critical. They didn't say critically shot. He was shot, and then it was like, it was literally not until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon before they...
And this was like at 1.
This...
That you told me about it, or noon.
Yeah. Because it was like 8 o'clock or something, 9 o'clock. I don't know. It was earlier in the morning. It was like 11 o'clock or so here. When I heard about it. And it was not until like 4 o'clock that they like decided to release the details of that.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's really weird. Because there was definitely enough evidence for them to at least say he was critically shot.
Exactly. That was big.
Yeah.
I mean, that shot was death.
Yeah, I mean, it was
going.
Yeah, right.
No ifs, ands, or buts about
that's
it.
just it too, is they indefinitively said shot, and they usually don't do that. They'll say there was an incident, there was an injury, there was something, because
mortally wounded.
But they're like, no, he was shot. Don't question anything else. That was
Yeah.
nothing, you know?
Like,
Exactly.
what happened to like mortally wounded or whatever?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I want to try to get through this video and then we'll call it.
Here's where things start to look less like coincidence and more like orchestration. Remember Brian Harpo, the head of security, caught on camera acting suspiciously after the incident? He was quietly placed on administrative leave, not fired, not charged, not questioned publicly, just gone. His LinkedIn disappeared within 48 hours. His phone went straight to voicemail, and colleagues claimed he left the country for personal reasons. No follow-up, no official statement, just vanished. Meanwhile, internal sources from Turning Point's event coordination team hinted that there were major disagreements about security protocols leading up to the rally. Some staff reportedly felt that the new comms equipment, including those specific microphones, had been added too last minute and weren't properly tested. Others claimed they were told not to ask questions about them. And those same devices are now at the center of the exploding mic theory. It's almost too clean of a setup to ignore. The mystery deepens even more when you look at what happened after Charlie was taken to the hospital. For one, the SUV that transported him was never publicly documented as evidence. It should have been impounded immediately for forensic analysis, especially since fragments of black plastic debris were reportedly found inside. But within hours, that vehicle was returned to the rental agency and later destroyed due to
security there. He was one of the people walking out with the congressman. Now, how would I know that? I just...
Wow, that's big. Okay, that is way too... Yeah, that's way too screwed up not to look at. Okay, they said that the vehicle transporting Charlie should have been kept for more going through for forensics and everything else, right? Within hours, it was released back to the rental company. Now, mind you, they said that a lot of the vehicles were changed out last second too.
Right, I heard that, yeah.
And all of a sudden, it was different vehicles. They weren't like logged. They weren't done like they were supposed to be. So now the vehicle transporting him that had this plastic in it, this black plastic, was returned to the rental agency that it came from and later destroyed.
What the hell?
If this is true, this is some of the bigger news that they are covering up.
Like, I've never even heard that. What's insane?
That is big.
It's huge.
That tells you absolutely everything. Again, if this is true. I don't want to act like, oh, there's no if, ands, or buts about it, because
There's always nuance.
there's always things that fluctuate. But if this is true,
That's insane.
then this holds every key you need to know.
Why was there black plastic in the car?
It was probably still on him. You know, it would have been from the microphone exploding.
Right.
And so it was probably still on him from what it did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because it's just like, well, just like there would be signatures of the gunshot too.
Yeah,
But this would be much bigger than it. I mean, you see how much smoke and powder and stuff comes from that.
exactly.
And stuff would be fucked up.
Yeah. It's big. All right, let's see.
I just have a gift for recognizing people. And yeah, maybe it's not him. Maybe he has doppelganger, but somebody with the same mannerisms, the same crick in his neck, face, the waxy look on his face, hand gestures, shoulder shrug, gait, approximate height, haircut, definitely walk past me.
Contractual expiration. Who authorizes the destruction of a vehicle tied to a national level investigation within 72 hours? It's almost like someone didn't want investigators finding what was inside. And while the FBI's report claimed there was no physical evidence of an explosive device, the language itself feels deliberately narrow. No physical evidence found, but that doesn't necessarily mean none existed. It means none was recorded or preserved, which, given that the crime scene was paved over by the end of the same weekend, makes sense in the worst way possible. What really stings is how fast the narrative flipped. One day, headlines were calling Charlie's incident a targeted attack. 2 days later, it had become an isolated event. Within a week, people were told to stop speculating. And within a month, most major networks had moved on completely. Yet behind the scenes, insiders were still whispering that something wasn't right, that the official report didn't line up with what they saw, heard, or felt that night. A few of those insiders have spoken privately to independent journalists. One described hearing a sharp electrical crack, not a rifle shot. Another mentioned a chemical smell in the air near the stage, which would make sense if a small charge had been involved. And several staff members say that in the days after the shooting, they were instructed not to speak to the media and to delete any photos or videos they might have taken during the event. Why would witnesses be told to erase potential evidence if transparency was the goal? And then there's Erica Kirk, Charlie's widow, whose own statements have only added more confusion. Early on, she claimed she was told by investigators that the weapon used was standard, but later she said she never actually saw the weapon or any official photos of it. Then she repeated the Superman neck story, which we now know came from internal PR spin, not medical documentation. If she was just repeating what she was told, then someone fed her that version. And that means the misinformation came from inside the circle.
So Brian very discreetly goes into his pocket and he is going to twist something, whatever that is in there, to dial down all of the craziness that's going on with the audio.
You're suggesting that the glitches are following Brian Harpole's reaching into his pocket and twisting something, and then they're corrected when he goes back into his pocket and twists something back.
Correct.
What's also suspicious is how certain people who were supposed to testify have since gone completely silent. One audio technician, who was rumored to have handled the microphones that day, moved out of state shortly afterward. Another stagehand reportedly tried to contact media outlets about what he saw, but backed out after receiving what he described as pressure to stay quiet. None of these individuals have resurfaced publicly since. So where does that leave us now? The exploding mic theory, once dismissed as wild, now stands as one of the few explanations that actually fits the physical and visual evidence we've seen. It explains the lack of a bullet exit wound, the missing fragments of a supposed round, the strange movement of Charlie's shirt, and the debris found in the SUV. It even accounts for the sudden technical glitches right before the incident. But accepting that theory would mean admitting that the event wasn't just a random act. It was precision engineered, planned to the second, and executed using tech that only a few specialized groups could access. And maybe that's why it's been buried so aggressively. Because if it were true, the implications reach far beyond one tragic night. They'd expose a level of coordination and cover-up that would shake public trust to its core. Every unanswered question, every piece of destroyed evidence, every sudden resignation, they all point toward a single, uncomfortable truth. This story was never meant to be solved. It was meant to be replaced. But the internet doesn't forget. And now that new footage and expert analysis keeps surfacing, the old narrative is falling apart piece by piece. What once looked like a clean-cut investigation is starting to resemble something far messier. And maybe, just maybe, the truth is finally catching up. The more people look into Charlie's case, the clearer it becomes. Too many things were off that day, and not just small inconsistencies, but major glaring ones that should have triggered an immediate second investigation. Even now, every new piece of leaked info makes the official version look more like a polished story than a genuine account of what really happened. For starters, there's the missing communication data. Charlie's microphone, his security radios, and even his personal phone logs from that night have gaps, actual minutes missing. Those devices should have recorded everything, yet somehow the recordings start and stop at oddly perfect times. The last clear audio from Charlie cuts out mid-sentence, right before the impact, then restarts 5 minutes later as chaos breaks out. Experts who reviewed the footage say the odds of all those devices glitching at the same time are nearly impossible without some kind of interference. And that brings us to one of the strangest discoveries, the interference signal. Audio engineers studying the footage picked up a faint static pulse seconds before the mic malfunctioned. That signal, they say, looks eerily similar to short-range jamming technology, something you'd find in high security or military operations, not a conference event. So, why would a jamming frequency appear just before the incident? Who even had access to equipment like that? Adding to the mystery, attendees reported weird symptoms right after the sound. Dizziness, ringing ears, headaches, the kind you'd expect after being near an intense sound wave or concussive burst. Some said they smelled a sharp metallic scent in the air, something not typical of gunfire, but very much like burnt wiring or compact explosives. Yet none of those sensory details ever made it into the official report. They were labeled as inconsistent witness accounts. But when dozens of witnesses describe the same sensations, it's not inconsistency, it's a pattern. Meanwhile, the people closest to the case seem to be vanishing, one by one. Brian Harpo's disappearance after the event already raised questions, but it didn't stop there. 2 junior security staff members who worked under him resigned days after, saying they felt unsafe. One of them left behind a voicemail for a friend saying, "Something's not right. This was bigger than we were told." That message has since circulated online, though its authenticity remains under review. Conveniently, no one has ever confirmed or denied whether the voice in that clip was really his. Then there's the lead investigator from the FBI's local field office, a man with years of experience in organized incident response, who suddenly took medical leave mid-investigation and never returned to duty. No public reason was given, and his replacement quietly closed the case within 2 weeks. How does an active lead step down right when the case reaches its most crucial stage? It's almost as if someone wanted it shut down before too many threads connected. Even more strange is how agencies handled the evidence. The debris from the SUV, the event's microphones, and even Charlie's clothing were all sent to different labs, none of which coordinated findings publicly. Requests for transparency were repeatedly denied under national security interest. National security for a domestic shooting? That classification alone made independent analysts' alarms go off. What kind of local tragedy needs that level of secrecy unless something far bigger is being protected? Another wild part of this puzzle involves the footage from nearby security cameras. The building across the street had 24-hour surveillance, but the footage from that night was never released. The official explanation? The system malfunctioned due to a power surge, yet every other business on the same block had power. Researchers later tracked down maintenance records showing that the camera's hard drive was replaced 2 days after the shooting, which violates standard evidence retention procedures. So again, the question stands: who ordered that replacement and why? All of this has fueled a growing theory that Charlie might have been targeted not for who he was personally, but for what he represented. He had access to massive funding networks, sensitive political relationships, and an audience large enough to move public opinion overnight. If he had started challenging the wrong people or exposing internal deals that crossed certain lines, that could have easily made him a liability. And it's no secret Charlie had been acting differently in the weeks leading up to his last speech. His tone was more serious, his inner circle smaller. He'd canceled appearances unexpectedly and told friends he was working on something big that he'd reveal soon. What that was, nobody knows. The files on his personal laptop were reportedly encrypted, and when his family requested access, they were told the drive was being held for federal analysis. That was more than a year ago, and still no word on what was inside. Online researchers have also noted strange overlaps between the timeline of Charlie's case and classified defense contracts involving miniaturized tech, specifically the kind tied to micro-detonation testing. Remember that company, Accurate Energetic Systems from Tennessee, the one that exploded in October 2025? Turns out a subcontractor listed under them had filed for bankruptcy just weeks earlier, claiming unrecoverable losses due to undisclosed project failure. Some believe that failure was directly related to prototype testing. If any of that equipment ended up outside official channels, it could explain the kind of precise, contained impact seen in Charlie's footage. Then there's Erica Kirk's role. Since the incident, she's given multiple interviews, some emotional, others oddly measured, but her story keeps shifting. First, she said she didn't see the footage until weeks later. Then she said she saw it the same night. At one point, she hinted that people in power were handling things privately, then later claims she never said that. Each time she speaks, new inconsistencies pop up, and yet every outlet that interviews her avoids pressing those questions. Whether it's grief, pressure, or something else, her version of events keeps adding new layers instead of clearing them up. But maybe the most haunting part is the silence, the lack of any real closure. The government says the case is solved. The public says it isn't. Every piece of evidence that could settle the matter has either disappeared, been destroyed, or been locked behind classification. Every person who could clarify things has stepped away, resigned, or gone missing. And every time someone tries to reopen the conversation, the same response comes back: let it rest. Except the internet doesn't rest. Independent analysts, online sleuths, and even some former insiders refuse to let this one fade away. They keep uncovering fragments, new photos, odd timestamps, bits of deleted video recovered from cloud caches. And each one paints a more complicated picture. It's no longer just about what happened to Charlie Kirk. It's about how easily reality can be rewritten when powerful people decide which version gets to exist. And that's why this story still matters. Because if something like this could happen under bright lights, in front of cameras, with thousands watching, and still end up rewritten, reclassified, and buried, then it means truth itself isn't lost by accident. It's erased on purpose. And the question haunting everyone now isn't just what really happened to Charlie, it's who still has the power to make sure we never find out. Now, here's the thing. You don't even have to fully believe the exploding microphone theory to see that Tyler Robinson wasn't the one who shot Charlie. Even if you toss that theory aside, the facts still don't add up. This explanation just happens to line up better with the actual evidence than the official version ever did. And until an official autopsy is released, if it ever is, the public has no real way to verify what truly happened to Charlie's body. But let's be real, that report isn't coming out anytime soon, and maybe not at all. Because here's what we already know. Necks don't magically stop high-powered rifle rounds. First-time shooters don't pull off flawless precision shots. Crime scenes don't get paved over within days. And cases don't get solved when the evidence breaks every law of physics and logic. Every single one of those points is a massive red flag waving in plain sight. So the question everyone should be asking isn't just how Charlie was taken down, it's why. Who stood to gain the most from silencing him? Who saw him as a real threat, not just politically, but financially or strategically? Because whatever he was about to reveal clearly made someone nervous enough to act fast and erase every trace of truth that followed. And that's what keeps this case alive. It's not about wild theories. It's about the holes in the story that no one in power seems interested in closing. The missing evidence, the disappearing witnesses, the conflicting timelines, and the pressure to move on, they all point towards something that doesn't want to be found. Whatever that something is, it wasn't random. It was organized, deliberate, and chillingly efficient. So now it's your turn. What do you think really happened to Charlie Kirk?
I mean, okay, ladies and gentlemen, the evidence is there. There's things hidden from us that we will never, ever know. There's just so much there. No matter how you want to look at it, it's like, I believed at one point that Robinson could have been the shooter, that maybe it was just, people are just overdoing it. But that's not what everything's showing. I mean, why hide this? What Charlie Kirk knew was something big. And I mean, there's a lot that it could be. There's a lot, it could have been something already found. It could have been something that still hasn't been found. We're never going to know. There's always what's going on across country. There's always that. That's always going to stand out as a number one thing for why it probably happened. But there's always the Epstein files. What if there was something to do with that he knew more about? Bigger names.
Because this was just before that really became like
to light.
And stuff,
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah.
Maybe there was something that he was going to bring to light.
And he would have been a liability for that because he was like into that political sphere,
Yeah.
And
I mean,
especially if she was involved with it on the other
yeah.
end, you know what I mean?
We're never going to know, though. I mean, there's no way if it's being covered up this big. And like I said, the vehicle stands out as the biggest red flag in history to me. There's no reason to destroy a vehicle within 72 hours when it was returned to a rental company. Why would a rental company want to destroy a vehicle? That just doesn't happen. I mean, come on. The government thinks we are stupid as civilians.
Well, they can get away with a lot because of it.
I mean, there's the pandemic, the pandemic, as people call it. I like that one because, people were stupid enough to think that our government had the best interest in mind when they kept us all, kept inside. They kept us away from each other. They wanted to see how much power they had. And they're right. They do.
And the Epstein
no matter
files,
what we want to do, they can make us do it.
And the Epstein files, they didn't release them all, but they released enough that should have lit a fucking fire.
Under everybody. That should have made people go, no, this is enough. This has got to stop.
They should have been dragging.
We're taking our country back.
They should have been dragging politicians and billionaires out into the streets and stoning them and burning them alive.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So.
And I want people to take a hard look at that and say, when is this going to stop? These truths need to get out there and need to be out there more. I'm just a small channel and they're probably never going to see this. They might. I don't know. But this is big. Charlie hopefully is enjoying his life in the next level. Hopefully he'll be able to help somebody here get to light what really happened.
Sure shit ain't those wishes.
No, wait, the Never Reacts is going to be good, especially now after we saw what we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot to say about it. And these idiots that want to try to say that, well, Charlie Kirk has gotten to see the light now and, he's going to be changed. No. He saw the light all right. He saw exactly what people are capable of. You know, and he always knew that something could happen to him, especially recently, before this went down. He was very, very tired. He was very, not necessarily looking over his shoulder, but he knew. You could see it on him. He knew something was going to happen. He just didn't know when. And that gets very tiring and very, very wearing you down. So I hope that everybody really takes a hard look at that and doesn't fall for the narrative that the typical government was just going to throw you. And you really look for yourself and see the evidence that's at hand. Don't fall for any little person saying, oh, well, this is just it. Look to the masses. Look to the video evidence. Look to the audio. All of it points to one thing. But they don't want you seeing that. That is what it comes down to. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll get back into this one, I'm sure, a different day because there's so much more to go over. I've got a lot more videos on this that I got, and we didn't get through nearly many of them. So
That was a good one, though.
it was. That one really opened my eyes to a lot. I did not know a lot of that. It's kept away from you. So
That shit is huge.
yeah, that is. It's very big. All right. Thank you for joining us, Sancho. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, always watch out. Always know what you're doing. Namaste. Till next time, walk on.